Howdy Neighbors, and welcome to Our Life. This is a visual novel game that I think I might really enjoy. We have some wispies. Oh! Welcome to Our Life, beginnings and always. No? There are various ways you can customize and interact with the game. This tutorial is an overview of how certain features work. Thank you! I appreciate that. You can read the full tutorial on the main menu and learn about everything in detail. Should have done that. Whoopsie! To start off, the game is divided into 3 time periods called steps. Step 1, childhood. Step 2, adolescence. Step 3, teenaged. Is teenage different from adolescent? Typically they're synonymous. Our life is further divided into sets of vignettes that take place during specific periods of time. These are called moments. Moments can be played in any order or skipped entirely. You move on to the next step whenever you want by selecting that summer is ending. Steps 1 through 3 include 5 moments each, and even more can be unlocked by purchasing DLCs. I will not be purchasing DLCs. Until I actually know what's happening in the game, I will not be purchasing any DLCs. Some are out now and other DLCs will release later on. Good to know. A lot happens over the years that go by, especially in regard to the character you play as. Okay. You determine nearly everything about the main character. Name, appearance, personality, pronoun. I can change pronouns? Dude, that's awesome. Interest, skills, their relationship with major characters, and so on. You can decide to change the details as time goes by, with a few exceptions. Your last name, skin tone, and eye color can't be altered once set. Okay. Much of the MC's basic traits are determined as a character creation screen. As the MC grows up, more options become available on the screen. As mentioned, one of the decisions you'll get to make for your character is selecting a name. You can type any name you like, or you can pick a present name. Present options are called the voice names because the name will be voiced aloud by the romantic lead. Ooh. You'll get to hear him say your name as you play through the story. Only the default name, Jamie, is included in the base game. Hundreds more can be added by getting a free voice name expansion. I will not be doing that. Because I don't know how... Once I know how the game goes, then I will consider getting DLC. Until then, nah. The full collection of names is separated out as a DLC because of how large it is. If you're not interested in that feature, you don't need to get it. Each name in the DLC brings to, or selected by, someone who supported the project. On the character creation screen, there's a cute doll you can decorate to get an idea of what your MC looks like with the different traits put together. Not all of the things you decide about the MC appear on the doll. The script referencing what you decided for the MC is the main way those decisions influence the game. Our life is the first person oh my god, Our life has a first-person perspective, so your character doesn't appear next to other character sprites. You can only see the MC as a decorative doll and the special cut-in CG images. The cut-in CG images only appear if certain choices are made. It's possible not to see any during the playthrough. There's also a second type of special MC base screen, the interest/comfort screen. Unless you get DLCs, the game has one love interest. Cove. So Cove Holden. He grows up with the MC, and the interest/comfort screen is crucial in determining how that plays out. Interest level sets how much you like him. There are 4 levels: disinterested, fond, crush, and love. Love is only available starting in step 3, and if you were fond or crush at step 2. Comfort determines how you generally react/think when it comes to him. There are 3 levels: nervous, relaxed, and direct. Your level of interest and comfort will set the type of dynamic your character has with the love interest. What you did in the past will influence the present, and feelings can change over time. You get to pick your interest/comfort near the beginning of every step. Comfort can switch between the 3 levels as you please. Your interest level can only stay the same or increase. The current level of interest will become the new lowest option on the screen in the future. For example, if you decide to be fond in step 1, disinterested will not be available on the screen in steps 2 and 3, which will make fond the bottom level option for your relationship. Interest level has an impact when it comes to physically interacting with Cove. While growing up, things are rather simple. If you get along with one another and have a close relationship, you can choose to touch. Ew, don't touch me. And Cove will occasionally interact with the MC in lighthearted or comforting ways. But starting in step 3, she can become more romantic and suggestive if you're at crush or love. Ew, no, don't touch me! Don't touch me! Stranger danger! Make sure things go nicely with that. To make sure things go nicely with that, there's an extra choice to determine intimate level, and a bonus mini tutorial that goes along with the choice to explain the future in more detail. Basically, if you decide you like Cove, the game won't force you to act on those feelings. You can always choose not to get together with him, choose not to accept or give romantic gestures, etc. If you decide to date Cove, though, you can't break up with him later. Interest/comfort gets the basics down, but the choices that appear throughout the normal game's events, that decide what actually happens between the MC and Cove. And it's not only the MC who can impact your decision. Cove grows and changes over the years. How he's treated and what he experiences help shape who he becomes. In step 2 and step 3, Cove's personality, appearance, and interests will vary based on what happened in the previous step. It's something of a mystery exactly how your decisions end up changing him. You can try and guess as you go along. Or if you prefer, you can just design your own ideal Cove directly using the Cove Creator option that pops up at the beginning of step 2 and 3. Making the choices you want is always more important than making a choice because you feel like you have to in order to get a certain result. When a choice does appear, usually you will see that hovering the cursor over the option shows a certain color, yellow, blue, or green. The colors don't relate to specific points or effects. They're only there to give a bit of insight on the tone/emotion of the choice. This text alone can potentially be read in more than one way. Blue tends to be casual/straightforward, yellow is more emotive/reaction, and green is less certain/uncommitted. Though there are hundreds of options in our life, and not every choice menu falls in line with that pattern. Picking just one color every time doesn't give a gameplay benefit. Only stick to a certain type if that's what you happen to like, otherwise switch between them freely. Always pick yellow, never pick yellow. Pursue romance right from the start, never romance the love interest, be disagreeable or amiable. None of them will lead to a bad ending. Oh, so it's not like a good or bad, it's just consequences? Okay. You're welcome to enjoy the event and shape the story without reservation. And then, if you like, you can play again and try something new. There's only ever more good content to discover. We hope you'll have a nice time with our life. Thank you for playing. Oh. Hi. Oh my god! Girl! Yes! Yes! Oh, this thrills me. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna try to make Because I don't really want to put me, you know? So I'm gonna do one of my D&D characters. There we go. There we go. Hell yeah. I'll do Iris, why not? So I'll be playing... There we go. I'll be playing this game as Iris, then. Short? I guess flowy. These are all too long, though. This was kind of the closest. I need this to be white. There we go. That would be black. So her name, fun fact, it's not Iris. Dun dun dun. Her real name, I'm so sorry the D&D group that might see this, is Viola. Her name is Viola Bell. What do we do? Go change page. Hand size? Birthmarks? Oh, okay. She does have some of these. But they're on the wrong fucking side. No, we're just gonna go with it. Why not? What are these? Freckles. We don't have that. She's also very pale. She does not emote. Slender. Oh gosh, she has bone hands. Clothing types. Pants. Accessory types. Hats. Birthmarks. Oh, she has scars on her entire person. Okay. Birthmarks. Her chest, I guess. That doesn't count, though. No, hold on. No, that doesn't count. Viola is a she, but the shadow is a they. It's the duality of Viola. Like, there's Viola, which is her. Hello. And then we have the shadow, which is mostly Iris, and they. That's the pronoun. I'm just gonna go with she because we're doing Viola, not necessarily both. Shirts, yeah, obviously. Pants, shirts, hats. They also wear gloves all the time, so I guess bracelets and watches are fine. They don't have freckles. They're incredibly pale. Okay. Let me look at more hair. That's closer, but it's not right. So on the left is where it's the worst. That's the right. Sorry, I'm just so focused. Oh, that's cute. But not what I'm looking for. It has to be all white, baby. I love that they have so many options. That's awesome. And back this one? That's fine. Okay. I think this is what we have. Viola, ladies and gentlemen. Save real quick. Summer in GamesRHard has was a special time of year. Your usually sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of school's vacation with it. During our summer, your moms didn't like you to wander too far outside your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well, including the people. Families came and went from GamesRHard, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, and they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved, or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. Ooh, we're already starting? Oh, fuck. We didn't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyway. We ended up saying hi to a lot of different people, since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones. You were too anxious to say hi back to most of the residents that greeted you, but they all knew you well enough to accept that. This one's more Iris. It was a polite thing to do after all, and your moms taught you to always be respectful. But today, there was a man sitting on the curb outside of your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over. You wondered if he was even a real person, or a statue that magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever, or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in GamesRHard is that people who you don't recognize really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms call it. But for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your moms had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it's okay to talk to new people. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. You remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite then. Fuck. Okay, so wheel means that we're going back. I think this one is more Iris. I'm just playing this as my D&D character at this point. Fuck yeah. Here we go. Bam! You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door. But you were pretty interested. You wanted to know more about what was going on. Whether he was nice or not, you don't want to be bothered. This one. You slowed down, your mind racing at ideas of how to get past him, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes met, and you took a shaky breath, your eyes darting to the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. Hey. His voice startled you and made you jump, but still you didn't look at him. The bird landed on top of the nearby gate post, and his black feathers ruffled against the gentle breeze. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started to make his way toward you. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms and stared. Still unsure of him, but willing to be friendly, offers a sincere smile. Your whole body's frozen in place as he approached. You live around here. What's your name? Oh, fuck. Hello. I like your tattoo. You look man up and down. taking his tan skin and relaxed expression. At least his clothes were relaxed, the way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. I always like sharks. It's fun. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. Yeah, I live here. I live right there. My name is Viola. Continue to say nothing. Great. Nice to meet you, Viola. Maybe a broad smile, relief settling on his face. He fished in his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it out to you. You were more confused than before you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favor? Nothing bad. Sorry, I should have... let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. Heck. From where you were standing, you can tell... Oh, it just made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove. He was about your age. This seems like a strange name for an actual living person to you. You shoot the inside of your cheek. This guy is definitely obsessed with water. You thought it was pretty cool. He wasn't the only person like that in Sunset Bird. We moved in across the street, see? Cove's dead. You just went toward the house that had been empty for a year. His watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. It must be Viola Bell, right? I met your moms earlier, and they told me you were 8, just like him, so... You took the $20 bill to bring it to your attention. A hopeful smile tilted his lips in the corner. You tried to be friends with the boy. Just give it a chance, and you can keep this. He's a good kid. He'll like you.
You might.
But you gotta keep it a secret, too. Okay? It won't be friendly to say his dad sent you. You eyed the man. You felt sorry for Cove. Not the kids really needed the parents to pay for friendships. What could be so bad about this Cove kid that his dad would need to bribe strangers to be friends with him? What do you say? Wanna make a deal? You took the bill. You didn't want the money. You ran away. Because this is like childhood, right? Iris would just want somebody. Don't take the money. I won't get paid for it. It's too weird. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely.
Are you
sure? It won't be so bad. Even just for the summer, it'd be enough. It only made it sound more strange to you. Why does it lasting for the summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he tucked the bill into his back pocket and changed the request. I get it, you don't want to. Would you be more comfortable if he and I coming for a normal visit, no money involved? Want to meet him? You could do that, I guess. Have to ask my moms. Don't want to answer. Smile got bigger again. His eyes crinkled at the sides. Bring him by tomorrow. I want him to meet and greet the neighbors today, but... well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He smiled as he said that, but the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come back home? Got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. I tried. You nodded, not certain if you'd find Cove, but willing to look. Red smiled and reached out to pat your head. Paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your mom's already cooking. Oh god. I read cooking is checking. The word that's right there is checking. Your mom's already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better look too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back and... that's not important. I have to go. Thanks again, Viola. See ya. He jogged off down the street with not another word. Decided to check the hills behind your house. Step 1. First sight. Chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill you can see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore, the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. You loved to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and sea serpents you had imagined living beneath the waves. You didn't enjoy the beach all that much, especially the sand, which got absolutely everywhere. She likes water. Sometimes Lizzie would join you, the two of you splashing each other in the waves. Those were the best days. Take a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax, and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. Hi, Cove. There's a boy sitting at the top of the hill. He was completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him for a minute longer, feeling a little bit like you found a deer in the wild. The deer didn't have... Wait, what? Hold on. The deer didn't have... wavy eyebrows. But this new boy did. You weren't sure what else in the world had eyebrows like that. If there was any. After a few more seconds, you take a step forward, then another. You glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balled and fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He had been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, stuck in the hem of his shorts. His eyes were still shining with a few more. You obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man said earlier had stuck to you. Cove? Eyes wide, he studied you. How do you know that? Oh. I met your dad. Oh. So is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. You shook your head. While doing so, you also picked up a strange lint on your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, he sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered the hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why did your family move here? Quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked that question. Almost like they'd never stop, his tears started up again, with a vengeance. My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. Tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a house here, and I want to go home. The outburst caught you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. I'm sorry. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. I felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. I can't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your moms. It must be pretty hard. I mean, it depends. Like, I only live with the one. It's fine. Granted, I'm 21 now. When I started, it sucked. It sucked for quite a while. I would say a full 6 months. It sucked so bad. And then it got better over time. That's how it be. But from far away in the distance, you heard your parents. Viola! Cove! Kids, why did you go? Cove looked at you. Tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I want to go home.
I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. It'll be okay. You're struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not gonna all be fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, yes. And you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shoot him a grin. You push yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, and turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. Called out yourself.
Sorry.
Oh, wait silently with him. Wait. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before he could answer, you heard Cove's dad, even closer than before. There you are, bud. A trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes laid on you and they rushed over. Both of your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Viola, you're here after all. So we have mom and we have mommy. And I think I know which one's which. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further away. No, you're just sitting in the grass. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. Okay, don't worry. Nope, just in the grass. Thank God you were fine. Yeah, I knew it! This is mommy and this is mom. Fucking knew it. Both of you having fun here? Look over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. I think you're gonna marry. You don't think of the right word to describe it, but you weren't sure what else to say to your moms. Not letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned toward the three of them. Thank you very much for finding him. We really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Viola knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home. It's been a long day for us all. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. Two of them walked off into the darkness toward the neighborhood. Catch Cove's bright pink cast until it disappears. Tell you what. We'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? You're not ducking your head down. Both of your moms laughed, the sound overlapping in a warm, familiar chorus. Mommy put her arm around your shoulder and led you toward the path. Satisfied, more than well ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Choose your feelings for Cove. This is how you feel toward Cove for this step. Can change in later steps. Yeah, she is the nervous type. He's indifferent, I guess. Fond, not crush. Because ew. We're fond, I'd say. Well, bam. Begin step 1 at nervous indifference. Yeah, well, she's always nervous, so there we go. Early the next morning, you're poking at your food, eating it slowly, just like normal. Sister Lizzie had run out earlier to go play, but you stayed put. Today, just like your mom's had promised, Cove was coming over to hang out. Excited to see your new friend again, Viola? I guess.
Okay.
With that said, are you done with your breakfast? Your bowl was entirely empty, so you nodded. Good job. You should be here soon. Dinner began, and then on cue there was a knock. He was hesitant, like a person that wasn't sure they were in the right place. Still loud though. We need to get a more obvious doorbell. I know. Viola, could you get it? His mom said so you wandered over to the door. Hey Bell family, thanks for having us. Mr. Holden, as your moms have called him, and his son were here. Cove looked directly at the bright lighting in the living room. And when he wasn't crying. With his dad standing in front of him, and Mom and Mommy behind you, you and Cove looked at each other. You studied Cove apathetically. It was your parents' plan, not yours. Not seeming any more excited than you were, he just stared back. Twisted the threaded bracelet, crystal bracelet, flower bead, or shell. Do you want to go play in your room, Viola? Sure. So, my room is this way. Okay.
Take care.
Let us know if you need anything, you two. Have fun, kids.
See you.
See you later, son. Play nice. You lead him to your room. Puffed out your chest a little bit at the sight of your treasures. There are lots of stuffed animals, cool bed, and window to look out. It was a great room. You hadn't had anyone to show it to for a while, but you were really proud of it. He leaned in a little closer at one of your drawings on the wall. I like this. Thank you. You're welcome. You smiled at him. You were proud of that particular piece of art, and you were glad he noticed it. He turned to look around the room a little more, studying the books on your desk and the pictures on the walls. Started to feel nervous. You felt the atmosphere was kind of awkward. You were glad for the company. You hope you liked your room. You wanted to say something, but didn't know what, so you let him keep looking. And his eye landed on a tiny box of beach things you had collected, tucked away by your door. Took a step toward it, before hesitating, pointing at it and said, "What's that?" What stuff in front of the beach.
Oh.
Do you have any driftwood in there? Guarding the box to the middle of the room, you and Cove flopped down next to it. Yeah. You just stood toward a piece at the bottom, still covered in specks of sand. Neat. This is a good collection. You got the sense of the tone of voice that he wasn't just saying it was nice. Or to be like... Shiloh? He actually meant it. Shiloh is coming over. Shiloh? My sister's friend. He wants to meet you. Do I have to see him? It'll be okay, I think. Here, I found this shell in a log, and we pulled out a seashell after seashell, explaining where you'd gotten each one, holding them against the light. There were big ones, small ones, pink, purple, and orange. Most of them you'd washed off in the bathroom sink when you brought them home, cleaning off the sand. Over the past few years, you'd even learned some of their scientific names. The collection was so huge and varied that you had lots of funny stories to tell. You always faltered for a little bit, but you kept going as best you could. You're really proud of your shell collection, and it made you happy that Cove was interested in it. Apparently fascinated either by the stories or the shells themselves. Cove listened with what looked like full force of his attention. It was a new experience to be the center of such dedicated focus, even if it was only directed at the shells. Kids, come down to the living room. You could tell the idea was making him unhappy, but Mommy wasn't giving you much of a choice to hang around. Cove hadn't been like this meeting you. You guessed it was because he thinks you found each other by accident, not that a parent made it happen. Mr. Holden must be right about telling Cove his dad was part would not be the best ideas. Before you knew it, both of you were escorted downstairs and deposited in the living room, ready for Shiloh's visit. Two of you were sat side by side on the floor in your home's entryway. I brought the box of shells. I want to keep looking at them. Okay, but be careful. I will. You weren't sure if you could trust someone else with your treasures yet, so you stayed next to him while he opened the lid and peered inside. Cove reached in and pulled out a big orange shell. Oh. Like he hadn't spoken aloud yet, he turned to you and held it up, his eyes shining. I think this is the best one of them. It's my favorite too. Cove smiled at you and you both admired the shell together. It's a giant conch with shades of dark and light orange. When you held it to your ear, you could practically hear the ocean. I found that last summer when we went to the beach on a picnic. The two of you are still sitting on the floor looking through your collection of beach findings when the doorbell finally rang. Cove jumped startled by the sound. Since the person hadn't knocked, you figured it was probably Shiloh. He knew where to look for it. Was his friend? You nodded, but that didn't seem to make COVID is what I said. It's Cove. I'm so sorry. It didn't seem to make Cove feel better. It was already obvious that Cove didn't hide his feelings well. You could tell that he was thinking right away. This isn't a good idea. Sorry, there's nowhere to go. He's at our only door. If you go upstairs, he'll find you. Cove glanced around the room, his eyes wide, and finally paused when his gaze locked onto the back of the house. I can go out the window. He was already walking toward it. Determined to think of something to say, you stepped forward and paused. I'll come with you. Hurry, they'll see where we're going. He glanced back at you, then nodded. The two of you made your way to the window together. There wasn't much distance to clamber out, but by the time you landed gently in the bushes, you looked up to see that Cove's already taking off away from the house. At speed, you weren't sure if you'd go fast enough to catch up to him. He's fast, but you knew that you could outrun him. He's not that fast. Hey, wait up! You ran as fast as your legs can take you, grass whipping at your ankles as you did so. Cautiously, Cove slowed to a halt and looked back at you. Where are you going? I don't know, somewhere else. I just don't want to see Viola! You looked back and saw Shiloh huffing down the hill after you. The backpack he clutched bouncing all around along the way. What are you doing? Can I come? Who's has seen you leaving out the window and followed behind?
Hi!
Oh, hi! Are you Cove?
Yeah.
I'm Shiloh. Okay. Yep, are we going back? Or are we gonna play outside? Shiloh's eyes moved between you and Cove, a smile remaining strong on his face. You got a tiny frown from Cove in response. You were just grateful he hadn't asked why you had been running around. Inside, you left the box on the floor. Yeah, I want to check. I hope Mama didn't move him. Okay. And Shiloh, trailing behind you and Cove, headed back toward the house. The plan for the afternoon, at least as far as you were concerned, was to sit and look at the beach things some more. You weren't really in the mood to do much of anything else. You held out the recent find to Cove, a scallop shell that had been washed up on the shore. It's a pretty color, kind of like my cast. Beautiful, glittering pink did look a little bit like the wrap around his arm. Pink is a nice color. Okay.
Huh?
Is it your favorite? Not really. What is? Maybe green, or blue, maybe yellow. Ooh, those are all cool.
I guess.
I guess. Try to deal with the suddenly more awkward silence. You look back at your shells. Those colors too.
Awesome.
Awesome. Like usual, it didn't take long for Shiloh to get fidgety. Lizzie was his favorite. Without her around, Shiloh didn't seem to know what to do with himself. Cove wasn't like your sister. He wasn't that much like you either. Is Lizzie coming back? Don't know. Aw. Where'd she go? I think she's at the beach probably. Is she playing at a park? Cove's eyes lit up at the mention of a park. Look toward you. It's a park? Yeah, but it's old. Can you show me? I want to go. He started getting up before you had even answered. Shiloh jumped up beside him in excitement. Really? You do too, right, Viola? The park is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right at the beach. There's lots of fun stuff to do. And lots of sand. It has a jungle gym and a bunch of swings. Sounds like it could be cool. So, are we going to find Lizzie? Oh no, I never really wanted to see her. I just wanted to check the park out. You drift with that direction. It's Shiloh or Shiloh? I'm gonna go with Shiloh. Finally, I turned to you. Okay. You perked up. Both boys wanted to go. It was only fair. After getting permission from your moms, the three of you were ready to head out. It's a short walk to the park. Lizzie had convinced your moms that it was short. She should also be allowed to walk there by herself. When you found her, she was hanging from the jungle gym, swinging back and forth. Hey, Lizzie. Her face lit up when she saw you, her big brown eyes going wide. Viola, Shiloh. Fuck. Hi. She dropped to the ground and landed with a soft thud in the sand. For a split second, Shiloh abandoned you two and scrambled over to stand by her. You used to being left out when it came to the three of you. But now Cove was here. You weren't sure if that was an improvement. Who's that? It's Cove, he's new.
Hi.
I remember. Hi, Cove. Welcome to my park. Nobody ever comes to play here, so this is where we get together. She gestured wisely with her arms to present the area to the newcomer. While Lizzie continued talking, you took the chance to kick off your shoes and wiggle your toes through the warm sand. Nice, huh? In this neighborhood, I'm the one who comes up with the ideas. You are?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am. Who else could handle the job? Lizzie is the oldest. By a lot. My moms say you're Viola's age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thought so. I'm still the only one in the group with double digits. What about the other kids? Other kids? There aren't any. We're the only kids here, and Shiloh is just visiting from another place. Not even tourists really bring their kids here. This is a land of ancients. Be careful that the oldies don't try to steal your youth.
Oh.
For a second, it looked like he might cry again. Something his eyes shifted, and he looked back at Lizzie. Kind of old people, like moms and dads or grandparents. Grandparents who don't have kids. I hate kids. Why? I haven't done anything. Stop saying stuff like that, you're gonna upset him. You interjected quickly, hoping Cove wouldn't start crying again. He sniffled, his forehead creasing with worry. Lizzie was staring Cove down, but Cove wasn't even looking at her anymore. He didn't seem to care that she was there. He went into his own head. Shiloh was the next one to speak, completely unaware of the situation. I met Lizzie and Viola in school. You'll see tons of kids there when summer is over. I don't want to go to a new school. I don't want summer to end. Oh, sorry. Shiloh looked down at the dirt. He hasn't had much luck striking up conversation with Cove. Oopsie. I like some vacation a lot too. All the tension in the air suddenly vanished and Lizzie laughed. At Shiloh's discomfort, at how weird she thought Cove was, and something else entirely you didn't know, but she laughed, face scrunching up.
Okay.
Welcome to Sunset Bird Cove. Welcome to Sunset Bird, Cove. Take a seat, put up your feet, and get used to it. Ugh, is right. For the rest of the summer, Cove was always there. You saw him more often than Shiloh. And on some days, when she was in a bad mood or busy, you even saw him more than Lizzie. It became a staple of your everyday life, the way the sun and lunch and beach waves. The first summer, you hadn't really been interested in him one way or another. He just kind of a fact of life. Someone you met with because he was there. Of course, that was only the start of things. Moment select, step 1. What the fuck? What is any of this? Fireflies. Alright! Tonight we're gonna catch the fireflies. At this blunt declaration from your sister, you looked up from your macaroni and cheese dinner. Fireflies are a familiar sight over the summer, coming out on warm nights to dance through the sky. Tonight was particularly balmy. You knew there were bound to be a ton of them around. Oh, you are you? Push your food around your plate. You looked over at your mom's. They hadn't answered for sure yet, but if that's what Lizzie said you'd do, it's probably what you'd end up doing. Liz was an expert at getting her way, having mastered the art of it by the time she could talk. It's a great idea, Lizzie. Can we, Mrs. Bell? Shiloh tapped his fork against the table excitedly, his face lighting up as he looked at Lizzie. It was unusual for Shiloh to still be here. Like always, his mom had to bring him over really early in the morning before her job started. But normally she would have picked him up by now. She called before dinner, letting your moms know that she'd be late. You didn't hear why, probably more work things. You thought maybe getting to hang out with Shiloh for longer is what made Lizzie want to keep running around outside. Staying at home watching TV was never an option for her with guests over. That's why you're pretty sure she'd get your moms to agree. Well, it's already so dark out there. Lizzie gave Mom her best puppy dog eyes she could, slowly spooning mac and cheese into her mouth while you waited there for their response. Let them go. Nights like this don't happen every day. Your parents exchanged a look, and Mom eventually sighed and nodded back. Yes. Fine. Just make sure you stay on the hill behind our house with all the poppies, okay? Duh, Mom. That's where most of them are. The idea had only just been planted on your head, but already you could just picture all of the glowing lights spreading out in front of you, like fairies from the bedtime books Mommy reads sometimes. Lizzie and Shiloh began digging at their food, and soon it became a race to see who could finish their dinner first. Are you excited to go outside and play? You gave a non-committal shrug. I was just mad because I always catch the most. Lizzie boasted proudly, her mouth full of food, and Mom gave her a stern look. Elizabeth? Knocked the door interrupted Mom before she could no doubt scold your sister. I got it. Your big sister jumped out of her seat and ran over to the door, pulling it open without even looking out the window to see who it was. Huh? She stood from your seat and tried to get a glimpse of the unexpected guest.
Hi.
Good evening, Cove. Your mommy had already walked to the door by the time you managed to see past Shiloh's floppy hat. Why's Cove here? Something wrong? He didn't give you any clear acknowledgement. His eyes firmly fixed on the ground in front of him. You shrugged, going back to shoveling forth full of macaroni into your mouth. Then after a few seconds, Cove said nothing. Emily stood there and looked up at your mommy with a face almost like he was considering turning around and leaving. But Dad told me to drop this off because I guess he borrowed it from you. He took a familiar screwdriver out of his large side pocket, eyes that now dropped to the floor. We left ours back home when we moved. Great, thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Here, why don't you come inside for a bit? Lizzie crossed her arms and lifted her chin. Cove shrugged. Mom stood up from the table. I'll give your dad a call and let him know that you got here all right. Cove shuffled fully inside, eyes remaining on the ground. Mom closed the door behind him. Hi, Cove. Shiloh gave Cove a friendly smile while holding his hands and opening and closing his fingers. Cove nodded in response. Are you going to catch fireflies with us? You see Lizzie eyeing you for mentioning the excursion to an outsider, but she'd get over it. Cove said no, you'd understand though. Catching fireflies wasn't something that everyone liked to do.
Okay.
I want to see him. I never caught one before. It's too bad he didn't have a chance before now. Fireflies weren't out when he first moved in, and there must not have been anywhere he used to live. We can't go until after dinner. She pointed that out. Lizzie walked back to the table and took a seat. There wasn't much left on her plate. This was very true. You decided to finish up your own stuff as well. We're still closer, and I'd rolled on the menu for your family's meal. Have you eaten yet? Yeah, my dad and I ate earlier. What'd you have? Eggs. The clipped one-word answer seemed to discourage Shiloh from asking any more questions, his eyes slowly wandering back to the last scraps on his plate. Her phone call with Cove's dad must have ended because your mom came back into the room.
Okay.
Cove suggested that you could stay for a little longer if you wanted, but he's going to come get you before it gets too much later. Sure.
Fun.
Oh, fun! This will be so nice. As you polished off your meal, you hoped it would be too. Both of you finished eating shortly after, and Lizzie led the way outside. Remember, don't stray too far. It's fine, Mom. Pharaoh trailed so closely after Lizzie that he nearly stepped on her heels. Cove hesitated at the door. He smiled lightly at Cove, gesturing for him to follow. After a moment, he did. Bye, children. The two of you were a good 10 to 15 feet behind Lizzie and Shiloh by the time you walked outside. Pushed the door shut behind you, watching their figures getting further and further away.
Hurry up!
You're so slow, Viola. We don't have all night. You started to run when you heard Lizzie's voice calling you, but paused when I skipped what he said. You saw Cove walking at a relaxed pace. Walk with him. You want to catch up to Lizzie and Shiloh, but it would be rude to just leave Cove alone when you're supposed to be hanging out with him. The two of you followed after the footsteps of Lizzie and Shiloh, left behind until you reached the hill behind your house. Lizzie had already climbed to the top. Pharaoh was spinning in circles somewhere around the middle. Upon seeing the gentle glowing, winking lights, you moved a bit faster, eyes widening in delight. Wow. Shiloh took a moment to come over and welcomed the both of you to the hill. Hey guys, it's really great out, huh? See how many there are? Yeah. Firefly danced through the air, landing on Cove's sea green head. Quietly looked on. You take a couple of steps back slowly, trying not to spook the little bugs as you admired how it glowed so brightly against Cove's hair. There was an eyebrow, giving you a confused look, and Shiloh giggled. You adjusted to his head and he reached up, making the firefly dart away. Cove jumped, then followed after the glow. Oh, Lizzie has one. It's amazing. Shiloh ran to the highest point of the hill, made sure not to lose his hat or backpack along the way. You hummed as the group divided and conquered, shifting your gaze at the dozens of other fireflies sailing around. The game was on. I think I'm going to end the episode here, because it's already getting a little late. So far, I'm really liking this game, not gonna lie. I am really enjoying it. I'm gonna do this for a while, I think. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you later.